Hey, everybody. I think we are live. Thanks for late night gun chat. It's a little later tonight because I had some school stuff to do, and sorry about that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shout out the chat, the people that were here early waiting for me in the chat. We got Dan O'Neill. Because first, 300 Win Mag for Chook. Chook posted a Patreon video only saying what rifle should he get next. So we're going 300 Win Mag for Chook. That way I don't have to buy one. I can borrow his to do videos and stuff with. You know how it works. You guys know how it works. We got Michael Kaler is here. Made some funny clips for the music video that's coming up. 67 Rebel SST AMC. Grizzly Crazy. Yo, what's up, dude? Brownies for my fat. All right, that's awesome. We got Mississippi Thunder, R4 Mississippi Thunder. In the chat with us tonight, we got Shooting Gallery Northeast. All right, or NE. I assume it's NE. Is it Northeast or Nebraska? So anyway, New England. Gotcha. Well, there you go. That too. So I just totally screwed that up. Alaskan American, Alaska One, Andy, Mad Sexy. All right. I didn't know I had that. That's like my own name out there, Mad Sexy. Anyway, geez, no laughs at that one. Yeah, that's bad. All right. So Joe, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your channel, what you got coming up, and thanks for coming on the chat tonight.
Thanks for having me, man. My name is Joe. I run the Shooting Gallery New England YouTube channel. I focus around gunsmithing, firearm presentations. I run a podcast every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I recently got into the Gundies. I am in the running for Breakout Creator of the Year and Most Creative Content of the Year. So head over to the GundyAwards.com and throw your vote in for me. And also, we got a 500 subscriber giveaway coming up. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years, and dear Lord, I love guns.
There you go. All right, Rob. Everybody knows Rob from Cherry City. He's got a new thing tonight. It's not going to show his face tonight, but he's got a new little logo. It's pretty cool. So, Rob, talk about what you got coming up.
Let's see. We've got some barrel length comparison videos. We got a 9mm one going from a 4-inch barrel all the way up to a 16-inch barrel. Doing the same thing in 357 Magnum. Got a couple gun reviews. Just like literally less than an hour ago, received a big package in the mail. A bit of a investment I'm making into the channel. I bought a whole bunch of AR-500 steel. Add some interest to the channel. This weekend, I'm going to be shooting my Christmas video. It's going to be big. It's going to be epic. It's going to involve 10 pounds of tannerite in one shot. Should be a lot of fun.
All right, cool. So just a shout out to everybody else that came in since Mad Sexy was here. Got Artac and Daughters, Teddy Two Guns, and then Darren Honey has showed up. Hey, I shared your video of the caribou walking down the street on Instagram. Everybody's going on that one. So y'all check out my Instagram. Darren sent me that.
That bull was a stud.
Yeah, that was not a cheap bull. That's for sure. All right. He would have I would have had a hard time packing him out by myself. That's for sure.
I'm so jealous that you guys get I'm in Massachusetts, so I see white-tailed deer every now and again, wild turkeys. So imagining seeing a caribou with the rack that thing had on it, or elk or moose walking across the road. I just watched one of your videos the other day where you had the black bear and the 3 or 4 cubs roaming. I'm like, oh man, that would be I would love to see that. I'm jealous.
That was like in downtown, almost in downtown Anchorage. That was like 2 miles from the city center. So saw moose behind cars. Yeah, there's plenty of moose in the city center too. So, all right. My wife just told me she saw a moose on the way home. So I saw one on the way to work the other day, or way down south the other day. So it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I got to admit. You don't see them as often as you see deer on the side of the road because they're just, a high moose population is 6 moose per square mile versus, 60 deer per square mile in Georgia where I grew up. So, but that's that. It's pretty nice as far as I'm concerned. Is seeing all that wildlife. The only traffic jam I got stuck in going into Anchorage this year, since we moved to outside of Anchorage, was because somebody hit a brown bear on the road on the highway, and it looked like a pretty decent size. Had to be 7.5 foot, and at least 600 pounds. So not
That's
a big brown bear, not a big brown bear, but big enough to do some damage. That's for sure.
600-pound bear. You ain't. It doesn't matter if you're in a Prius or in a Colorado. You're gonna mess your car up and cause a whole bunch of problems.
Oh yeah. All right, LW Road is here. Whole milk is where it's at, and eggnog. Not if you're like me and you're allergic to everything in the world. So
I'd have to disagree. Eggnog is key. Eggnog is king.
There you go. All right, so we're going to start off tonight. We're going to start off tonight talking about door-to-door gun confiscation. I think me and Clover Tack in the last few weeks has said, "Oh, they're not going to come door to door and take your guns." Well, I was wrong. They are coming door to door, taking your guns. All right. Brownies for My Fat is putting links to everybody's channel. Make sure you go subscribe. Okay, most of you guys are probably already subscribed, but I was wrong. Many of you have already seen or heard about this article from the ATF because, but the Firearms blog, Ammo Land is coming out with something. Hank Strange just did a video. 2A EDU, that's who I heard it from. I shared his video a while back. The ATF is actually visiting end users requesting a forfeiture of polymer 80 kits. All right. Earlier today, TFB reported on a story in the Wall Street Journal stating the ATF had apparently conducted a search warrant at Polymer 80 Inc., a company known for producing 80% firearm kits and related parts. These 80% builds, often referred to as ghost guns by media outlets, presumably because they can be built into firearms without needing to visit an FFL, have long been a topic of debate. This morning, an anonymous TFB reader provided additional information pointing the ATF visiting end users and are requesting the forfeiture of certain Polymer 80 kits. The reader stated that on the afternoon of December 10th, 2020, my birthday, all right, thank God I didn't have a Polymer 80 kit. Now that's the birthday gift I got. That'd be crazy. They were visited by the ATF and were requested to surrender any Polymer 80 kits. The ATF took custody of the buy, build, shoot kit and provided them with a receipt for the property. In the basis for transfer or seizure of items box, the ATF agent wrote, Polymer 80 investigation. The email to TFB stated, they are also going after customers. Had an ATF at my house approximately 1 p.m. yesterday tell me I needed to surrender my P80 or he would return to raid my house with a warrant. Enclosed is my surrender sheet for proof. If anybody purchased a buy, build, shoot kit from them, they will probably be hearing from the ATF as well. All right. So the polymer kit known as the buy, build, shoot kit comes with all the parts, tools, and jigs needed to build a working firearm. All right. So that's where we're going there. I'm going to stop sharing that. And we're just going to go back here. And let's just discuss this a little bit. I'm going to get your guys' thoughts first. Go ahead, Joe. Why don't you tell us your thoughts since you're new to the channel or new to the chat? So we're going to make you go first a lot tonight. So what do you think about this?
Okay, hold on. All right. Yeah. So here's my take on this. I talked about this in my podcast last night with my buddy Flying Richard Hughes. He this is where I kind of have an odd description. I live in Massachusetts, so my rights are constantly being infringed upon. The idea of polymer 80s to me, again, because I live in Massachusetts, I would rather get rid, not have to deal with the bull crap because we do have a handgun and long gun registry in the state of Massachusetts. I would rather have a serialized frame. Yes, I do agree that all gun rights are infringements, and I agree that what the ATF is doing is wrong at the moment. Polymer 80s, I could care less about because, again, I don't live in a free state. On the other hand, I find it a huge, and I mean massively huge, infringement upon our constitutional rights. The ATF, from what I hear, is there's only two agents that are literally going rogue and have a stick going up their rear end sideways about all this. Plus, with the coming presidency, they're like just gnawing at the bit to just infringe upon our rights, and it's wrong. They're treating normal American citizens that work for a living, pay their taxes, just trying to enjoy what is constitutionally protected by them, and they're treating them like criminals. I have a massively huge problem with it.
Absolutely. Rob, why don't you go ahead and say your opinion before I get to mine? I'm going to go close the door where my baby's screaming, so I'll be right back. But go ahead, Rob.
All right. Obviously, it's a massive infringement. Here's what's really crazy about it is they're still being allowed to manufacture and sell their polymer 80 frames. The only thing that the ATF had a problem with was selling them as a kit, and it makes absolutely no sense. It's the same product. It's just making it so you can buy all the parts to assemble in one place. It doesn't change what the polymer 80 frames are. So how they're making any logic of this makes absolutely no sense. And I foresee a massive class action lawsuit against the ATF between polymer 80, the end users that got their stuff confiscated. It's just insane. It makes absolutely no sense why they would change the classification because you're selling a slide and a barrel and all your parts with it. I mean, it does not change that the frame is an 80% frame.
It's just crazy because, yes, this is where my opinion goes a little bit sideways that a few people disagree with me a lot on. With the build buy kits, it makes it very easy for a criminal who has a little bit of smarts. We've all seen the Glock Polymer 80s. There's hundreds of videos out there on how to make a full-blown Glock out of a Polymer 80. Doesn't take that much. I saw Suits do it with a file on his kitchen table. He literally did it with a wood rasp and filed it down. Maybe they're starting to get a little bit antsy because these Glock Polymer 80s are popping up everywhere. They're arresting people with these Polymer 80 frames. You can recognize a Polymer 80 Glock frame over a standard frame. But at the same time, criminals are going to break the law regardless. Just because criminals ruin stuff for us doesn't mean we can't enjoy our Second Amendment rights.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my opinion about this. I have a mixed opinion on this right now as well. I didn't buy a Polymer 80. I specifically didn't buy one because I wanted to pay for one cash in the store. And when I was ready to do that, there was none around, so I bought a serialized gun. And that's fine, whatever. I didn't buy one, right? I wasn't going to order one online for this very reason, because if you do something online, there is a record of it. I guarantee you somewhere that the NSA or the ATF or somebody knows exactly how many 6.5 Creedmoor bullets for hand loading that I have. Okay? Guarantee you. Okay? Not without a doubt. That is not tinfoil hat. I've met some people that say, hey, yeah, I work with the government. They had, security ID badges when they were buying a gun at Cabela's. And they're like, yeah, if you do it online, there's a record of it, period. Okay? I've met people that were in the teams and stuff like that here, and they said, yeah, if you do it online, the NSA has a record of it, period. Okay? I guarantee you all these chats, everybody's in the chat, there's a record of you being in this chat online in the NSA. Okay? So, that being said, all right, I didn't buy one because of that. Okay? I'm also not really that mechanical and patient, and I would rather assemble my parts and buy a strip receiver that's serialized than file down something that isn't serialized, So that's my thing. The other thing is as soon as you hand that PA-80 kit to another person to shoot, and you're not on your own private property, at that point, it could be considered a transfer, not legally, but they can misconstrue it that way. And then you would be giving an unserialized gun to somebody else, and they could arrest you for that. Okay, once if you trade it away or something like that. So
you're not allowed to build your own gun for the purpose of selling it or giving it to another person, but that doesn't mean that you can't. You are allowed to later on transfer that gun to another person. You just cannot have built it with the intention of doing that.
Right. So you are allowed to do that, but you have to serialize it, and it has to go through an FFL, technically speaking.
You don't have to serialize it.
Okay. So we're gonna have to find that out.
I think how it goes is if you build it for yourself and you're at the range and you let your buddy try it out, that's one thing. If you were to sell it to someone, it does need to be transferred, and you have to go through an FFL.
Yeah, it depends on the state you're in and all that.
Yeah, I know in Mass that's how it is. I work at a gun shop for my day job.
I'm talking about as a federal law. State laws, like in Oregon, you used to be able to transfer them without, if there's a person-to-person sale, you're able to transfer it without going to a gun store. If your state requires you, that's a whole different story. I'm talking about laws at the federal level that affect us all.
Right. That being said, here's where my opinion is going to get controversial. This guy who turned his in the web, on the website on TFB, where this guy turned it in, this goes to show me that most gun owners are going to capitulate. Okay? Or many gun owners are going to capitulate. Because it's not about polymer 80. They're coming for pistol braces. I have a pistol brace. All right? Who here doesn't have? I know Rob has a pistol brace. All right? Joe has a pistol brace, apparently. Okay? They're coming after those. They're going to, if they're knocking on your door about polymer 80s, and it is only 2 departments, not 2 agents that have gone rogue, but it's 2 field offices that have gone rogue.
It is? Oh, okay.
Yeah. As of right now, okay. But if they could go and knock on your door for your polymer 80, and they've had success of people turning them over, then they can come and knock on your door for your pistol brace. And we all know that's what's next. And then they'll come and knock on your door when you don't do Biden's mandatory buyback for your AR-15. We all know that's next. And then once they ban AR-15s and somebody commits a crime with a high precision rifle, okay, then they'll come for your high precision rifle, which is, an ED rifle. Okay. We know what's coming. Okay. We know the progression. We know how the dominoes fall. All right. And so I am going to tell everybody, this is where we need to make our stand. And you need to tell the ATF agent, no, you're doing something illegal. I'm going to put you under citizen's arrest if you do not leave my property. If you come back with a warrant, then we will deal with that in an appropriate manner. That's what I would tell the ATF agent. That's what I plan on telling the ATF agent if they come to my door. I'm telling them, no, you better get a warrant. Okay. First and foremost, they don't have enough agents to get a warrant, so they're going to have to use local police a lot of times. Okay. Number 2, all right, most lawyers think they're bluffing on that. They know they're doing something illegal, then they're going to come back. Number 3, if they want to raid my house, good luck to them. That's all I got to say. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. Good luck to them. Because if you're telling me you're coming back with a warrant to my house, guess what? I'm not going to be there. Neither is my pistol brace. It's that simple. Okay? My wife and I have a place to go. We're going to go to that place. Good luck. All right? Now all the ATF agents that are watching are going to start guessing where that place is based on my phone history. But anyway, that is what I'm telling you. Okay? Teddy Two Guns, APD is lazy. Yeah, I've gone in with like a broken tail light for like 3 years in my car. They hadn't even pulled me over. Okay. if you are telling an ATF agent to get a warrant, you are talking too much. Probably. Now, what I was just watching Hank Strange with Gun Owners of America, and he was saying, his guest was saying that the best thing to do is surrender it under protest. Don't sign any form that you surrender it, and saying I am doing this under protest. Personally, I think you should surrender it if you're going to surrender it full of tannerite. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, I just don't think.
Now, what does that mean if you surrender under protest? You just say, does that mean you're going to get it back? Or I could say under protest for a lot of things.
You're not recognizing their legal right to do it. All right. Which is going to give you a lot more recourse in court. True. Whereas if you signed their form saying I gave it over, then that's what, then if you sign that form, then you don't have as much recourse in court because you agreed to it. So, as soon as I know that they're going around taking pistol braces in Alaska, my wife and I are going to a safe place, Yeah.
Well, the good thing, and this is where I am with pistol braces. I just bought that SBA 3, paid cash for it. Here's where I'm at. So far, it's just an opinion. There's been no legal action. There's talks about it. Yes, it's a highly, I'd say, good possibility. Pistol braces might go the way of bump stocks. I don't think it's going to happen because there's more in circulation than bump stocks. But at the same time, for people who are they want to enjoy the Second Amendment, they might not all be like what I'd call us 5%ers that are die in the wool for the Second Amendment and draw a line in the sand, who want to enjoy guns, want to enjoy their pistol builds, their AR pistols. They're again, I'm getting this information from John Crump. I heard him say this on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The Tailhook has a approval letter. I don't know. I think Gearhead Works makes the Tailhook, and then if you get the OG SB tactical brace, like the ugly half moon type deal, that has a letter. So think of it like this. Yes, I'm not giving up my pistol brace. Listen, it's not a firearm. It's a pistol brace. It's an arm brace. When I do the video on it, I'm going to demonstrate how it works. Yes, it's been a big FU to the ATF, but then again, the National Firearms Act is unconstitutional. But for someone who just wants to stay under the radar and you're looking to build a pistol, check out Gearhead Works, or if you can find an original SB tactical brace. Do you, but at the same time, the ATF I don't think has any idea how many braces are in circulation. That doesn't mean SBA 3s. That's SBA 4s. There's the Shockwave braces. There's all the braces for the MPX line, the MCX line.
The little CAC stabilizer thing.
Yep. The CAC stabilizer, the Shockwave brace, like the whale tail looking brace. There's so many. Yeah, a lot of them might not have approval letters, but then ATF stopped doing approval letters in 2018.
Yeah, so it's like,
well,
if they can't do
there's no requirement to have an approval letter. It's like there's no need to have an approval on most guns as long as they're following the letter of the law.
Exactly. So, and that's just the way I see it. But my point right now is, if they come to your house, you should not give up anything. Period. It is illegal. They are not paying you for the brace, so they're violating the 8th Amendment. They are not coming with a warrant to your house to confiscate that, so they're violating the 4th Amendment. They should have a warrant the first time they come to your house. Okay? They are taking away a accessory to a firearm, or in the Polymer 80s case, a firearm. Okay? Kit. Okay? They are violating 3 amendments to the Constitution. You should tell that ATF agent, hey, you are violating 3 amendments to the Constitution. If you don't leave right now, I am putting you under citizen's arrest. and taking you to jail. And you can do whatever you want to after that, but that is going to be the truth. You can leave right now. If you need to come back with a warrant, you'll still be violating 2 amendments of the Constitution, and I'll sue the absolute fucking shit out of you. Excuse my language. Sorry. So that's how I feel about it right now. So that is how I feel about it right now. You don't give up anything. If we let them take these polymer 80 kits, then they're going to want to come after pistol braces. Then they're going to come after pistols, AR pistols. Then they're going to come after ARs and AKs and M1As and anything else, fin fouls and everything else, they're going to come after everything. Okay. We know the progression. They're going to come after handguns. They're going to come after magazines with 15 rounds or more in them. Okay. We know what's going to happen. And that is the whole point. Okay. So,
hell, for the rate they're going to be going after certain optics at some point, probably.
Absolutely, because if you have an optic with a mil dot, you could be a sniper. All right. And here's the thing: in order to come after these things, you got to come after me and invade my house with an AR-15 or an MP5 or whatever, right? Or you've got to use those guns to take away my guns.
Irony.
The irony of it, they don't see the fact that they are the ones violating the law using guns. All right. And I guarantee you, they come into my house, shit's going down. I'm just guarantee it right now. So
I that's the thing. Like in places like Alaska, I don't know how populated where you are, Chuck, but like I live in a very like kind of suburban-esque rural area on the South Shore of Massachusetts near Plymouth. Very populated area. Very, very blue. But at the same time, it's very like when you really think about it, there's a lot of gun owners in Mass. I don't know what I don't know the population in Alaska. The cops alone in Alaska, I don't see even. I don't see that happening. Mass, I'd say it's a 70-30 toss up.
Mm-hmm.
70 saying they actually don't agree with it. 30 of them just they're going to work following orders.
Yeah.
On the coast, yeah, I can see that happening. But you go into like Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Alaska,
anywhere in Montana.
Yeah, anywhere in Montana, North Dakota, like really? Like you're gonna go to North Dakota and confiscate someone's firearm who probably has a whole safe full of them and knows how to rig up tannerite to a door. Like it's gonna take how many is that gonna take for the ATF to realize, okay, I think we're making a mistake? Because there's a lot of people buying guns now. Going up to 8 million new gun owners in the past 9 months.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't see it happening. They gotta think logically.
Yeah. So Teddy Two Guns is asking about what are the state laws or the laws on citizen arrest, and it is dictated by state law. And Adam is correct. This is how it is in here in Alaska. If you witness any felony or breach of the peace in your presence, then you are allowed to take that person to the police officer. So, if I ever catch the legislator in town who keeps introducing red flag laws, there's a good chance I'm going to put her under citizen's arrest because that is violation of her oath of office. Right there. And red flag laws to me don't violate the Second Amendment. They could violate the Fifth, or mainly violate the Fifth. They still violate the Second, but
red flag laws violate so much stuff, not just the Constitution, but when you really think about it, it's morality. If you take morality into effect, it's like you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know that it's a neighbor that's pissed off because of a dirty look he gave at the mailbox. You don't know if it's an ex-girlfriend that's being spiteful or an ex-wife that's just trying to be as spiteful as possible. You don't know that. Like, we've all heard stories.
Yeah. So, yeah, red flag laws.
I bet anybody in this chat can when you really sit down and think of it, you're gonna be like, I know someone who has an ex that really hates them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank God I haven't spoken to my ex-wife in like 7 years, and if for some reason I were to give her a weird look at, like, if I went home for her dad's funeral or something like that, she would probably red flag law me if we lived in the same state. So there is that. So, all right, we're gonna get to y'all's questions. We're gonna get off this depressing topic right now. Get to y'all's
Exactly.
questions, but I want a lever action 5110. Who would have thought a lever action can throw 400 grains at 2,800 feet per second and 6,000 foot-pounds, 8 rounds in the tube? Let the grizz come. Yeah, that's a good one. Lever Actions 50 is a good channel to watch. I don't know if he's in the chat somewhere. He was, so check him out. His literally his name used to be Lever Action 5110, but it's Lever Gun 50 now. So make sure you go check him out, Duke. That would be awesome. So just to you that. Just got my H&R Pro Bergara 300 PRC. Any recommendations for a hunting scope and bipod? I would try. I like Leupold because the gun is already heavy as a Bergara HMR, the hunting match rifle. Of course, the Pro might have does that have the carbon fiber barrel? If I'm not mistaken. But I would say I would go with a Leupold. Just save yourself weight, man. Leupold's weigh like half of what Vortex is, and they're brighter and lighter. Yeah, you pay a little more, but they're not made in China or Vietnam or wherever, Philippines, wherever Vortex is made. So I would say go brighter and lighter, pay a little bit more, get you a Leupold. I'd look at the Mark V Tactical if you really want to dial it. For a hunting scope, I like my VX5 HD that I have on my 7 mag Remington 700. And it has the 29 Impact 29 MOA reticle, which is a Christmas tree like reticle. What I like about it is there's a capped screw on the turret and the push button on the top for this the dial, the CDS, and so I don't have to worry about any of my dials getting messed up. And I can do anything I want to in the reticle. All right, I can do anything I want to 1,150 yards without turning anything in that reticle, according to the Straylock app. Now we'll see how it really is when I actually get out to that range, but out to 300 yards, it's fine. So that's that. Here's the link for that. So got an old Remington 700. Well, let me let you guys answer that first. Rob, Cherry City, what would you recommend for hunting scope and bipod? I didn't go with the bipod. I say get a Harris bipod. They all work. They work.
Yeah, I mean, you can never go wrong with the Harris bipod. When it comes to scopes, it's all about what flavor you like. I like the Vortexes, even though I literally live an hour away from Leupold. I mean, I can drive to the factory in an hour. But I tend to put a lot of Vortexes on my stuff. Get whatever flavor you like. Make sure it's a good quality scope. Look at reviews. That's my suggestion. I don't try to point people to something specific. We all kind of like our thing.
Yeah. Joe, what about you? Hunting scope. This is for a Bergara 300 PRC. He's probably doing a lot of long range Western hunting. So, what would you recommend?
I know you kind of just trashed Vortex, but I at work I'm a gunsmith by trade. My shop does a lot of Vortex sales. It's kind of heavy, but I'd have to say anything from the Diamondback line, depending on what you're looking to use, for precision and stuff like that. I'd say the Diamondback Vortex Diamondback scopes. I've liked them. They're very easy to sight in. Stay away from not Tandem Cross. Wow, Crimson Trace. I don't know. I think it's overhyped, and that is like Crimson Trace is heavy, like really really heavy optics. Bipods, I'd go with the FAB Defense. It used to be Fab Defense, but it's just FAB. It's a new bipod they have out. It's like $124.
All right. Ghost Tackle, I have not tried a Swagger bipod, but if you have a video of one, drop it on the chat so everybody
What
can.
up, Ghost?
Yep, Ghost is always in here. I'm sorry, I've sent him a link to join us, but I guess it's a little late tonight for him. But But if you can be here and you're in Massachusetts, anybody can join it. It's in the middle of the country.
It's almost midnight my time.
Yeah, it's just now getting to close to 8 o'clock here. What's your thoughts on the new larger ballistic tips versus the smaller ones? The theory is you have a bigger portion of the bullet impacting. So the only rounds I've seen with the larger ballistic tip are the Hornady Critical Defense for rifle. That'd be their 155 grain 308, their 73 and 55 grain 223. And I have some of those to test, but I haven't tested them yet. As long as they're accurate out to 300 yards for me, and that they expand like they're supposed to, go for it. Like if you like them. But to me, the ballistic coefficient is trash because of that big old blunt on those objects. Those are the only ones that I've seen that are actually bigger ballistic tips. All the rest of them I've seen are actually pointed ballistic tips. I do have 2 boxes of 73 grain 223 to test in videos, and I just haven't done it yet. So, what do you think, Cherry City Rob? Have you seen any bigger ballistic tips?
I'm holding in my hand a it's for 350 Legend, so it's not like it's a long range caliber anyway. But a Winchester Deer Season XP Extreme Point 150 grain, and literally half of the overall length that is outside the case mouth is ballistic tip.
Yeah.
But we're also not talking about a long range caliber there. I kind of get the theory. I mean, the whole little bit more, a bigger metplat almost of a bullet is impacting. I don't know. We'll see how it works.
Cool. All right. What about you, Joe?
I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm not really into when it comes to like projectiles. I don't know that much. I've been looking to get myself into like a nice bolt action where I can kind of like divulge myself into different bullet types, because like it's just one more aspect of shooting that like it seems fun. Like I'm a huge cigar guy too, so like that to me something like bullets and like and reloading your own ammo is like picking a fine cigar depending on the make and origin of it. So like I today I just cited in. I'd love to get you guys' opinions. I just cited it today at work. We had a woman that bought a 308 Mossberg MVP, and I was like, wow, like I never really shot one before. The action was pretty decent for what I had to sight in. That thing was dead accurate. Oh my god, it was a tack driver. I know the MVP is kind of like an economy style 308 bolt action, but we threw a Vortex Copperhead on there, and like the thing drove tacks with MagTech 7.62 by 51 NATO ball.
So what range were you at?
I was shooting at 25 yards, but I had to dial it in for 100. So I did the math where it's going to drop probably about 1.5 inches at 100 yards, depending on where you are. So I'm doing the math, and the thing just drove tacks.
Absolutely, yeah. At 25 yards, shooting off any kind of platform, almost any rifle should be able to put a one-hole group at 25 yards. If it can't, it's usually the shooter, of course. But if the rifle can't with a good shooter, then it's not worth its weight in gold. The Mossberg MVPs actually don't have that great of reputation for accuracy unless you hand load for them, so that you can fit that round to your chamber where the bullet backs off the lands just enough so that it's not touching the lands, but not so far back that there's a big gap between the lands and it's going to shake before it hits the lands. That's what gets you the best barrel harmonics. So that's the advantage to hand loading, is you can do that with just about any bullet and expect, at least 1.5 MOA at 100 yards, so 1.5 inches at 100 yards. But usually, if you do that with just about any bullet, you'll get at least 1.25 MOA, and you'll get several types of bullets that'll get under 1 MOA, and then you'll find the one it loves at 0.5 MOA. So when I buy a rifle to sight in at 100 yards, I always go to the store and buy 7 different kinds of ammo I wouldn't mind trying to hunt with, and whichever one it shoots the most accurate with, that's what I go mimic all my hand loads with.
Yeah, okay. I'm not a big hunter. I've never gone deer hunting. I used to do a lot of predator hunting in my state because I live in such like a suburban area where like we don't have a rifle season. We have shotgun, muzzle loader, and archery.
Yeah.
But with I did a lot of coyote hunting when I was in my early 20s, and we used 22. I hunted with a Marlin Model 60 because we were able to shoot with 22 LR. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I still have my Marlin Model 60, first gun I own.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, I love
I got one in
mine.
my safe.
If you can find the old actual Glenfield made by Sears or whatever with the squirrel on the stock, oh
I had to
yeah,
work on one. I worked on one. I told the guy, I'm like, dude, don't ever sell this. They don't make these anymore. This is like and he was like, I just don't know how to clean it. And I'm like, took my fair share of Marlin Model 60s apart. I can do this real quick. And I had it done before he left the store. I'm like, this is what you do. It's wicked easy.
Yeah. 9mm revolvers. Opinions on 9mm revolvers.
Great for new shooters.
Agreed. Great for people that don't have the hand strength to work a semi-auto. I think
Really?
out of a little 1.75-inch barrel, 9mm actually does better than 38 special as far as foot-pounds of energy and velocity is concerned.
You throw a nice Apex trigger kit in there. Oh my god, you got a good gun for you. I think they just released the Ruger LCR in 9mm that I'm like dying to try. If it's worth anything, I'm just gonna buy it.
I want that LCR X in 9mm. I think that'd be the 3-inch version. I think that'd be a fun little gun.
I think that's the gun I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I've got
Go ahead, Rob.
I'll say I've got a video on my channel with Smith & Wesson 929, and I mean, talk about a freaking joy to shoot. That thing is so awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do they consider those a J frame?
No, that's an N frame.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big gun.
Yeah, well, it's because it's got an 8-shot cylinder in it.
Yeah. There you go.
That's definitely an N frame.
8-shot titanium cylinder.
So yeah, that would be a great home defense gun in my opinion, especially if you live in a place where you can't own more than 10 rounds. So that would be actually a good home defense gun because it's a revolver. You know, the DA isn't going to try to say, oh, you're tacked out with your 17 round, light and mag, extra mag and laser RMR fitted Glock and all that other stuff. The DA is going to see a simple revolver and be like, oh yeah, it was just a self-defense. So I think it's a great home defense gun. Of course, not that anybody's actually been convicted of a crime because of the gun they used, and that wasn't later overturned. Rob corrected me last week.
Hell, I'd probably have issues over the holster I have right now. Do you mind if I show something off?
The holster, yeah, you can show the holster.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show the gun. Don't worry.
Because of YouTube's stupid rules, if you're listening.
I just picked up this Eclipse holster Cyrus. And I have Deadpool. I have Deadpool riding a unicorn. This is gonna fit my Glock 19 and my PL Valkyrie Pro.
Nice.
Dude,
nice. And I love Eclipse holster. She makes really good holsters.
Jess is amazing.
She's great. Yeah.
They're the first company I had on my podcast, and they actually gave me a discount code and made me a brand ambassador. So I have so much loyalty to Eclipse.
Oh yeah, I have one of their. Actually, I have 2 of their holsters, and I actually still carry my shield in their holster, even though I have a nicer holster from Just In Case Holsters. By the way, if you need a nice leather holster, discount code Alaskan. I don't get anything from that, but you get 10% off. JustinCaseHolsters.com. But I do love Eclipse holsters. She's great. And then if I carry IWB, I carry my shield in that Eclipse holster. If I carry OWB, which I have been doing, I carry it in my I carry that shield in my Just In Case holster, which he sent me for review, and it has this beautiful leather. It's got the Crusader cross on it. It's gorgeous.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm not really into leather. I'm not a leather fan. It I don't know what it is about it. I'm not really into it. I had Craft Holsters send me a one for my 45, and I was like, all right, this is okay. I'm just a Kydex fan. Maybe I'm just young, and that's my generational thing, but I've never really been into leather.
So I've liked Kydex a lot for inside the waistband.
Yeah.
Outside the waistband. So leather doesn't scratch your gun like Kydex. If you pull your gun in and out enough Kydex over the years, it's gonna get a lot of holster wear right on top of the edge of the slide, right on top of the edge of the frame. All these places, it's going to get some holster wear. Now that's true with any holster. That's true with leather. That's true with anything, but it just doesn't happen as fast with leather. Now I mostly use Kydex in the woods for bear defense guns here on my chest or on my hip or whatever. Because of the moisture aspect. The leather is going to hold, and it's more porous than plastic, so it's going to hold a little bit more moisture and not wick it away versus Kydex. But I have to say, if I'm carrying in the city and it's a holster that's, I'm carrying out OWB, and it's I'm carrying OWB, and it's going to just be on the side on my side under a coat or something, I'll carry a leather holster because they're extremely comfortable. They're lighter weight, generally speaking, than the same size holster Kydex. Now, if you have a minimalist Kydex and a big leather holster outside obviously they're different weights, but so I like them. One of my first holsters I had was for my Glock 21, was a Galco high ride, Fletch high ride with the thumb snap. My biggest thing is, a good leather holster. They're just more expensive than a lot of times what they need to be, but a lot of them can be works of art. And that's what I like about just in case holsters, like the one he built for my 357 mag. The gun is a work of art that Ruger did, and now the holster is a work of art that he did. So that's that. 58E for bear. What do you think? What do you think, Joe? Would you use a 58E for bear?
Depending on the load, yeah, but it's overkill. I love 58E.
Mm-hmm.
Love Desert Eagles. But I don't know. Maybe because I've never really encountered bear. If I ever saw a grizzly walking downtown Plymouth, Massachusetts, I'd have some other questions like, what alien dropped this off? That's what I would say. Or what meth head stole a bear? But I don't know. I just think it's overkill. Like the whole Desert Eagle 50 cal and Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. Like, is it really overkill? Like, I carry a 10 millimeter for a lot of my winter carry, and if I'm going fishing, I am a huge 10 mil fan. Like, it's probably my favorite caliber. And
ditto.
Yeah, exactly. My Glock 20, I feel, is just as what I need. I like the 180 grain Ted Nugent hollow points. I like the ballistics of that. I've checked out the ballistics out of that. I have the Glock 10, out of the Glock 20, and it works well on my gun. And I like the Winchester Super X. I like those too. Those are very, very good hollow points.
Yeah. Now, Rob, you actually live where there are bears, mostly black bears, though, right? You still have some brown ones in Oregon, right?
There's not any documented brown bears in Oregon or California, although it is a brown bear on the back of a California flag, and they're talking about reintroducing them. But we have black bears, and for the most part, they're not very big. 58E for bear, I guess if you don't mind packing the weight of a Desert Eagle, a 58E would not be a bad bear defense caliber. But I'm going to say I wouldn't want to hunt bear with a 58E because I don't really want to be that close to them, to shoot them with a Desert Eagle. I want a rifle. I want to poke them at 100 or more yards out.
Sorry. Alaskan American is saying, yes, pointed deer season XP. He really likes that bullet. That actually shot well in my 65 Creedmoor. It shot extremely well. It didn't do terrible. It kind of fell apart like a cup and core bullet does, but not as bad as like Hornady ELDX, which falls apart like crazy. So I'd say it's a pretty good bullet. If you were using it for whitetail or caribou or blacktail here in Alaska on the coast, yeah, I would use that in a heartbeat. The problem with using it in blacktail along the coast is you might have a big brown bear. And so going back to Pro Carry's trucker's question, 58 for bear, I'm with you, Joe, like a Desert Eagle, and with you, Rob, is carrying the weight. Now, I've shot a 58 Desert Eagle with the right load. Yeah, I would use it for a brown bear gun. The problem with the Desert Eagle itself is that it's if you shoot it a lot, it requires spring changes at 1,500 rounds. and it may have jams and stuff like that before 1,500 rounds. So just depending on how much you use that gun, how much you shoot it, if you hand load a bunch for it, and you got 900, 1,000 rounds in there, there's many documented cases of that spring breaking. We had one in a gun shop I used. It was a rental gun, where they could go on the range and rent it and shoot it. And bad people wanted to go in there and go, I'm about it, and then it would jam on them all the time because it broke again. And of course, those rental guns get freaking abused.
Oh my gosh, we have a range at my shop, and the amount of abuse. And the top 3 guns that I have to like work on and continuously throw in the ultrasonic because it is the MPX pistol. Because we're a range, so we can have like pistol versions. Because in the state of Massachusetts, we're only allowed to have rifle versions. We can't have like AK pistols, and technically the only way to get an AR pistol, as long as it's a fixed mag, AR-15, the lower receiver is a fixed 10-round mag. But the good part is on that is if you have a fixed 10-round mag receiver and build a pistol, you don't have to follow assault weapons ban regulations, so you can have an unpinned and welded muzzle and an adjustable SPA3 stock. But we get the MPX, the CZ Scorpion, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, the one of our AR-15 lowers, pistol lowers, but it's from quarter circle 10, and it takes MP5 mags. Like,
oh yeah,
damn, they get abused.
Oh yeah, they do. Sorry, there's a spider on my wall. How to kill it? Anyway, so I didn't have to pull out the gun and kill it this time, which my wife appreciates. So, Glock 20 is all you ever need. I disagree. I like my Glock Model 40. I love shooting my Model 40 compared to the 20. It's not as snappy. It's more accurate. You get more range. You get a whole lot. Guy, I like this guy's name. Hit the like button, guys. He reminds you. There you go. Matt, kiss my ass, socialist. All right, there we go. But the Glock 20 is nice. I think with the appropriate hard cast load and the high pressure loads, you should probably get a KKM barrel just to be on the safe side, so that you have more chamber support than the actual Glock barrel does. But,
really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what I've always wondered is with hard casts and stuff like that. Like, say if I had hard casts, like I threw a mag hard cast 10 mil through my regular, I have a Gen 2 Glock 20.
Okay, so less chamber support than now. Yeah,
I have more chamber support or less chamber support.
Less chamber support.
I have less chamber support. So if I threw a hard cast pill in my Glock 20, would it blow up?
It depends. If it's the 220 grain hard cast, a good chance you're going to blow the back of the casing out, or you're going to make the back of the casing swell, and it's going to be hard for it to eject. But you might
Glock belly.
Yeah,
it's it's like a belly at the bottom of the case.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
yeah, like a pregnant case. But it's that being said, you definitely would want to look into a more chamber support barrel if you're going to run those. So the issue Glock, the reason why they say do not use exposed lead bullets is mainly for soft lead. And the soft lead will rub right where the chamber meets the rifling, because it's not traditional rifling. It'll fill that area right where the chamber meets the lands of the rifling, and it'll fill up in between the lands really well. And then it'll cause your gun to have more pressure in the chamber, because the bullet is actually up against all that lead debris too. That was the reason why they said not to use lead bullets. Now, Buffalo Bore has come and said hard cast lead on their website is okay in Glocks. The companies that make the reloading ones that are powder coated say they're okay in traditional or in Glock barrels. I still decide to run mine out of a traditional rifled KKM barrel with more chamber support. That being said, I don't run them. I have a Glock 29. I don't run them out of that. I use other bullets that are copper jacketed or all copper in my 29, because I don't have a KKM barrel for it yet, but I do have a spring, a aftermarket spring. I have no idea what it is because I bought the gun used, but it is probably a 20-pound spring. and it's tungsten, I believe, because it doesn't rust. It's been out in the rain; it doesn't rust at all. And it's really lightweight, so I'm thinking it's tungsten or titanium. But and the
tungsten is super heavy. They use tungsten guide rods to add more weight to the front end.
Okay, then it's titanium. So I stand corrected. That being said, the heavier spring also causes Glock's dwell time and lock time is pretty fast. It doesn't dwell before it opens as long as, say, a Springfield XD or a 1911 or something like that. And so because of that, if you put a heavier spring in there, the dwell time goes down, so the round stays supported as much as it can longer. So that actually helps too. That's why people who run Glock 20s and 40s up here for bear, and even 29s, they generally put a KKM barrel. Sometimes a lone wolf barrel if you can get a lone wolf to actually work these days. Yes, I actually have seen the Ronin 10mm. They look cool. But that's that. Anyway, like the Glock chamber, the more supported chamber and a heavier recoil spring, that's what people run for hard cast. So I have a KKM barrel. I do have a 22-pound NDZ spring I'm going to try with the 220 grain hard cast. With the 200 grain hard cast, I've had no issues with the factory spring, but I know a lot of people said the 220 grain Buffalo Bore hard cast will tear up that plastic guide rod of the Glock. So that's that. Darth Yogi is saying Glock 40 too long for my taste, and all I can say to you is 175 feet per second more, and my wife carries it. So that's all I can see. Daryl Honey is hating on perfection. All right, we can forgive him. Just one more reason not to buy a Glock. All right, yeah, well, they're better than whatever gun you like. So, just kidding.
I'm just saying, he's probably into like Raven 25s.
No, he lives here in Alaska. He's smarter than that. But
okay.
Yeah. So, and
that's a big running joke with me and Johnny B, because I told him that I was like, oh man, I love I just have I love all guns, man. I even love like the Rinkins and Jennings and Jimenez, and like he literally just trolls me all the time about it. It's like we have a huge running joke.
Nice. Now people discussing blowing up their guns with reloads, assuming large amount of people is not knowing how to measure powder correctly. I agree with that. So that's that. So Darren Honey, what would you buy over not buying a Glock? Don't tell me a Springfield XDM and 10mm. I'm talking about 10mm here, double stack. What would you buy? All right. What would you buy if you're not going to buy a Glock? I've already proved the Glock is better than the Springfield XDM on one of mine. So recoil's way less because of the dual recoil spring. I shoot it way more accurately. And the longer sight radius, the easier to get parts. And Chuk's Springfield XDM had the sight fall off. Apparently, that's been a thing with large frame Springfield XDM for years, 45s. His fell off in the case on the way home from shooting the video. How does a front sight fall off in the case? That's not quality right there. So, all right.
Honestly, out of all the double stacks that are on the market right now, I really, really want to see Smith & Wesson come out with a 10mm M&P. Oh my god!
Cool.
They've said it many times. They're not going to do it. Pro Carry Chucker, $5. Thank you. Ammo Fun. Got to run. Be safe. Always carry. Thank you very much, man. I bought ammo tonight, so that's going to go back and help me with my ammo. Bought some 44 mag Fort Scott munition, 44 and 375 or 357 Magnums. My local shop has the Fort Scott munition, the 2E tumble upon impact bullets. So they're pretty good. Somebody earlier asked if I did any 460 Roland. I do. Michael Kaler has some video on some 460 Roland, but I do have 4 or 5 videos on 460 Roland. A couple different guns, a Springfield XD and a 1911. A couple different guns on that. So that's that. All right. He says, my D20s have stock barrels, never seen a smile, reload blast at least 3 times. Don't shoot plus B plus. There you go. All right.
What generation, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, what generation?
So it does make a difference.
Yes, it does. Because the Gen 4s actually have way better chamber support. Though the Springfield XD does have better chamber support. I just knocked the gun like crazy, but it does have better chamber support. You can shoot hard cast without modification. So, anyway, so Darren Honey, tell us what you would buy for 10 millimeter if you're still in the chat and the mods didn't kick you out for saying the same thing 5 times in a row. Tell us what you would get. So if I were going to get a double stack, first of all, I wouldn't get a double stack 10 millimeter right now. I'd get a 1911 single stack, but I want a 6-inch barrel. And the only thing of quality I can find around here is a Springfield operator, and it's $1,700. And I got other things going on right now, so $1,700 is going to happen. Darth Yogi is saying EAA Witness 10 millimeter. I shot Chuk's little compact Witness, and I didn't like it. It recoils really strange. On some of the rounds, it felt like it was double clutching when it was closing. So I don't know if any of y'all have seen this before. If you get like a slow-mo camera on like a Ruger 1022, you'll see that the bolt, as it's going forward, will kind of just bounce a little bit before it locks. And it's so fast you don't notice it. But I feel like with that EAA Witness, especially with mid-range rounds, we shot some extreme penetrators through it. We shot some SIG rounds through it. SIG is about a 1,250-ish feet per second. I've never gotten 1,250 feet per second out of it, but 1,250-ish feet per second. And we're shooting it out of this small gun, and it just felt like it was double sliding, double hitting like that. And so I just do that. Dan O'Neill has 2nd and 3rd generation stock Glock barrels. So there you go. But yeah, the EAA Witness, I didn't like it. Now the full size might be different. I think it would probably have a better lockup and better dwell time and that kind of thing to take care of that. But it is nice. Personally, I'm looking for like a 1911, 6-inch, and I'm not going Rock Island Armory because I've had too many people tell me too many negative things. So, all right. So
I've heard conflicting things because like my buddy worked the trigger. He loves his Rock Island Armories.
Yeah. Well, Pat RMG is usually on the show, and he had issues with 2 of them. John Fazer, who's usually on the show or has been on the show a lot, he had issues with his, had to ship it back just because he had to ship his gun back twice, and he still carries it in bear country over a Glock. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, no,
They keep telling me I have an XDM and I love it. Good. I hope your sights don't fall off. But anyway,
you should poll gunsmiths and see how many gunsmiths are willing to carry a Springfield XD. Guarantee
you wouldn't catch me doing that.
Yep.
Would not catch me doing that. I had to do. Here's a funny story. So when I first, this is my first job as a gunsmith. I went to Sonoran Desert Institute for college, and it took me a while to find a job in my field, and I finally found this place. My first trigger job I did, and I've done Glocks before. I've done just like easy swappable triggers. It's just learning my trade. We had 2 XDMs. We had an XDM 9 and an XDM 45. And they bought these like Valley Precision triggers. I don't know. I had so much hand fitment on the sear and the over travel stop. It took me 4 hours per about 2.5 hours for each gun. So it took me almost 5 hours to get 2 guns for over travel stop. It's a joke.
Yep. I think so. Jason says it's Ivor Johnson. Yeah, I've seen them. They're more quality. They're more quality to me than Rock Island. But I've heard bad stories and things about them too. So a mid-range 10 millimeters, no cream puff. No, a mid-range 10 millimeter should outdo a high-range 40. All right.
46.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I like 40, but I had one blow up on me. So and that was totally from bad ammunition. I got the story from Ray Vaughn, who works with Iraq Veteran 88 at Moss Pawn Shop. Yeah, I used to work with him at a shop in Georgia when I grew up in Georgia, and he was telling me that and I'm not saying this is true, but this is what he told me, and he wouldn't lie. He actually he had a Springfield XD blow up during hunting. He had his XD blow up in a 40. My buddy, another buddy, had a Beretta 96 blow up in a 40, and I've seen 3 other 40s blow up working in that gun range that were Glocks. But the reason is they were all shooting Federal Hydroshocks at the time, and supposedly a cleaning guy at night spilled a bunch of ammonia underneath the brass of the 40 Smith & Wesson. So that's and all the ammonia went right up through the 50-gallon drum of brass. So I don't know. Like that's that. But I've heard of other stories of 40 blowing up as well. It had nothing to do with that. So that's that. All right. Well, we've been going for just over an hour. Any other questions? One shot great. Had to send one back, and they fixed it. There we go. So 50-50 on Ivor Johnson 1911s. So yeah, I have 2 SARs, one in 45 and one in 9mm. Yeah, I've been thinking about picking up a little SAR USA just to try it out for like less than $300 at my local store. You know, so is what it is. So. All right. Well, we've been going for about an hour and 5 minutes. There's no more questions, nothing else to talk about. We're going to go ahead and end this. Joe, go ahead and tell everybody about your channel again and what you got coming out again. And then make sure you guys find his channel. Go ahead and tell everybody the name. And you guys go ahead and subscribe to it. I'm sure Brownies for My Fat has already put the link in the chat. So go ahead, Joe.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys having me on it. You know, this was a great chat. But my channel is Shooting Gallery NE. It stands for New England. It's a channel focused on like kind of gunsmithing, gun builds, firearm presentations, just kind of all around firearm stuff. We run a podcast called Shooting the Woods Podcast every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, Alaskan Ballistics and Cherry, you guys have open invites to come on the podcast as well. And, you know, just have a whole
working at that time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're figuring out time.
I still had students in my face at that time. I'm a school teacher.
We'll have to figure it out. But I do have a 500 subscriber giveaway coming up. So once I get 500 subscribers, we're going to be giving away some stuff. We got John Crump's book, Speaking with Giants. He's donating a book for the giveaway, and I'm going to probably throw in something kind of cool as well. And also we're in the Gundies for Breakout Creator of the Year and Most Creative Content of the Year. So definitely head over to the Gundies and vote for Shooting Gallery New England. And other than that, just got some AR builds coming up. One video coming out this week I'm pretty excited about. So hope you guys enjoy it.
Cool. I just put his link in the chat. I realized I just screwed up that link. There we go. So Rob, go ahead and tell us what you got going on and everything. So yeah, Brownies just put it in there.
Well, we got a pretty exciting thing coming up here pretty soon. I don't know when I'm going to shoot a video with it or when I'm going to upload the video because I kind of have a lot of stuff already in the queue. But I did just get a hold of a CMMG Banshee in 10mm that I'm going to play with on the range. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I
want to see a lot of chronograph videos out of that.
I'm so jealous. So jealous. I just want that gun so bad. Oh, my God, I want that gun.
It is beautiful. It's in their midnight bronze Cerakote color. It's incredible.
Yeah, I want one in OD green, except I don't want to lose it in the cow pasture.
Have you seen their bazooka green color?
Yeah, that's nice.
It's different. I think it's one of those things you either love it or you're gonna hate it.
Yeah,
I want Robin's egg blue. That's what I want. I want to be against the grain and get the blue, like a Robin's egg blue.
There you go. I mean, because there's a special place in hell for criminals to get shot by a girly gun. All right. Alaskan American asked, revolver versus autoloader and why for bear situations. I'm going autoloader. There's nothing wrong with the revolver, but you got 6 shots. They're slower shots to begin with, and it's harder to recover from recoil. Even if you just go 357 Magnum, maximum on 357 Magnum is 8 shots. Most 8-shot 357 Magnums are on the next frame up. So why did you not get a 44 Magnum in 6 shots? You have the same weight gun for the most part, especially in the Ruger line. I'm not sure about the Smith line. So I like my G40 because it outperforms 357 Magnum. It's not going to outperform 41 or 44 Magnum, but it is going to outperform 357 Magnum for the most part. I got some videos coming up that 357 Magnum might win over 10 millimeter. But I got to go actually shoot those. But I like having 16 shots, and that hard cast will penetrate a dinner plate in 4 water jugs. That extreme penetrator will penetrate a dinner plate in 5 water jugs. And most of the time the hard cast will too. It just didn't that day when I did that extreme penetrator versus hard cast a couple weeks ago. And yeah, so there's that. And I would say I go 10 millimeter. Most of the time when I go out in bear country, I carry my Glock 21 converted for 45 Super. So that the 10 millimeter stays there with my wife if she wants to go out in bear country, and she can shoot that one pretty well. So lately in the winter, I carry a 9 millimeter with me and a 10 millimeter pocket carry. I carry in my pocket of my coat, I carry my 10 millimeter so that I have it kind of handy. I don't need a big old chest rig and all that kind of stuff for it. But my wife actually, with the baby carrier, wraps the chest rig around her waist and ties it in a certain way and snaps it all together. And she's got outside the yoga pants waist belt. It works. So that's what she does. So, all right. I'm not going to argue with it. So, all right. You can use 45 Super in that Kimber if it has a fully sported chamber. Yes. And you probably want to run a heavier recoil spring for sure. Absolutely. And you probably want to run a heavier mag spring. Reliable if you're under the bear. Reliable if you're under the bear. If you're under the bear, you got bigger problems than reliability of your firearm. So, the Angry Prepper is here, guys. Make sure you go support the Angry Prepper. He's got a good show, good prepping show every night. God, when is it? Is it every Thursday night that you do your live stream? He had a video come out today. Hadn't watched it yet, but he had a video come out today. So yeah, make sure you check him out. Thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's a good channel. Go check him out. I think Magic Prepper introduced me to him, so it's actually really good stuff. I'm going to get into a little bit more prepping stuff here, but there's always Alaska Prepper. I actually think for prepping, if you're a prepper, Alaska is probably one of the worst states to be in, just because you got to think about heat far longer than anybody else. Like I've got to think about chopping firewood. I got to think about chopping 3 times the amount of trees and wood that anybody else would have to, because I have winter basically from mid-September to mid-May. All right. Now I might have, nice temperatures in March and April, and I might have nice temperatures in October, but nice temperatures are 40s, 45s. That still requires burning wood at night for you to stay warm. So there is that. But I do think I'm going to get into prepping videos just a little bit more here and there. My wife is starting a channel, Courtney's Outdoor Adventure, or Courtney's Alaskan Adventures, and we're going to do some of the prepping stuff on hers. And that's that. So anyway, that's all I got going on. We've visited the other channel, so y'all make sure you go give everybody that. Best chainsaw for bear. The one that makes it too heavy for your buddy to run with.
No, that one you can mount on the Picatinny rail under your air barrel.
There you go. There you go. Prepping videos like how to make a tinfoil hat. Tinfoil hats don't actually block the alien brainwaves. Michael Kaler, you should know this from experience. So anyway, all right. I'm just kidding, guys. But y'all are looking at me like I'm serious. All right. So here we go. Thanks, guys. God bless. Take care. We will see you at the range. And we are ending the broadcast, and we'll see y'all later. Michael Kaler. Oh crap.
Good night, everybody.
Not everybody.
Good night, everyone.